Hi everyone, are you looking for some more information about little communities near the downtown of Indianapolis? Then stay tuned. What's going on, everybody? Today let's talk about some communities that are not directly in downtown but are in the surrounding nearby areas. These communities are called the streetcar suburbs, and they consist of Broad Ripple to the north, you have Irvington to the east, and then you have Fountain Square, which is kind of the southeast of downtown. And these areas kind of developed at the turn of the century with the advent of the streetcars and the trolley lines that took a lot of the congestion out of downtown and allowed people to move a little bit further out and to be able to use the streetcars and the trolley lines as the main modes of transportation. The first suburb I want to talk about is Irvington. It is directly east of downtown. If you just take Washington Street, it's about 5 miles directly east. Although many of these suburbs have spawned from the advent of the streetcar, Broad Ripple, Irvington, and Fountain Square are the most popular areas as of today. First city I like to talk about is Irvington, which is directly due east of downtown. It is about 5 miles on Washington Street. Irvington is known for its Victorian and Edwardian architecture, and as well in that area you'll see a lot of sweeping, winding streets. You don't have that regimented grid system, just a unique, different vibe as you enter into the area. Irvington is bordered to the north, 10th Street, and on the east side kind of goes along that Shadeland Avenue, and then to the south is Brookville Road, and then to the west would be Emerson. The median home price in Irvington is $141,196. It is expected to increase 1% this year. Butler University called Irvington its home. Butler moved away, but the community kind of declined after that. Today, Irvington is a family-friendly community, and they have many festivals each year that allow a lot of the neighbors to get together, get to know each other, and have a little more tight-knit community. For the last 10 years, the Irvington Historical Society has held an ice cream social located at the Bona Thompson Memorial, which is just right in the heart of Irvington. This again allows stronger neighborhood ties and a lot of pride and ownership of the properties in and around Irvington. Irvington Farmers Market is one of the most popular farmers market in the city as well. Every Halloween, Irvington holds a festival, and they shut down the streets, which is pretty impressive since it's one of the major thoroughfares going to the east side. It's a week-long festival with all kinds of crafts shops and things to do with the family. Irvington is also the birthplace of the most historic arts movement in central Indiana, and even today you'll see a lot of the residents and the art galleries still standing in the area and have a huge influence of the art culture. Irvington is home to local schools like George Washington Julian Irving Elementary School, as well as 4 other charter schools. Thomas Carr Howe Academy services the 9th through the 12th grade for this area. There are many local shops, privately owned boutiques, restaurants, coffee shops. One to mention would be Black Acres. It's a brewery restaurant that's right in the heart of Irvington. And although they had a recent fire, they're still open for business, and the community has really helped to try to bring back the business. Black Acres has really great craft beers, great food, and again, it's one of those stops that you have to try as you're in Irvington. The next suburb I'd like to talk about is Broad Ripple. Broad Ripple is located directly north of downtown. It's about 6 miles away. Broad Ripple is an area that has a very laid-back, very free-spirited vibe. Has tons of shops and restaurants, and it's a little community on its own that's very popular amongst the younger generation because there is a big nightclub scene that also brings in a lot of the bigger name bands as well. Again, Broad Ripple is located about 6 miles just directly due north of downtown Indianapolis. You know, it has a great club scene, and for those looking to stay up late at night, definitely Broad Ripple can accommodate, as many of the bars stay open as late as 3 a.m. This community does not have a shortage of bars and clubs, but there's more to this area than just the late night scene. During the day, be sure to take your family and explore some of the shops just to the north of the main strip there. The ever popular Monon Trail that actually calls Broad Ripple one of its major stops. But along that Monon, you'll see a lot of the independent shops and restaurants that kind of line that as well. And it's just a great walk with the family as you cross over the river, and it's pretty scenic and definitely attracts many people in the summertime. Broad Ripple borders White River to the north. There's a little bit of an oxbow right there, and that's kind of the north border. To the east, you have Keystone Avenue. To the south, you have Kessler Boulevard. And to the west, you have College Avenue. Although this is the actual Broad Ripple, just south of Broad Ripple, that extends all the way down probably another 3 or 4 miles to just north of the state fairgrounds. This area has been coined SoBro, short for South Broad Ripple, and everyone is enjoying increase in property values in this area. And a lot of these smaller bungalow style homes that you see quite a bit of is increasing in value, and it's another great area for investments. Broad Ripple is popular with the younger professionals, the growing families, and the empty nesters. And again, everyone has seen a huge increase in property values in this area, and it's really attracting a lot more businesses, and it's growing, and it's just a fun place with great walkability scores and just a really different vibe community that's so popular today. The median home price in Broad Ripple is $214,219 and expected to increase about 1.7% this year. The schools in Broad Ripple area consists of Broad Ripple Magnet High School, Cider Academy for High Ability Students, Eliza A. Baker School, Center of Inquiry, Schoolhouse 84. As well, there is Lawrence North High School servicing this area. There are many private charter schools as well, and you have Bishop Chittard to the east, you have Park Tudor northeast of Broad Ripple, and you have Christ King Catholic School just kind of east-southeast of Broad Ripple. Although there is not an actual delineation area designated for Fountain Square, it pretty much falls in line right in the middle of the Bates Hendricks, which is kind of the south. You have Fletcher Place, which is north of Fountain Square, and then you have to the north the Holy Cross neighborhoods. So all of these three combined communities really encompasses the Fountain Square area. Fountain Square kind of borders to the north Delois and the railroad tracks. To the east would be State Street, and to the south you have Pleasant Run Park. And then to the west is I-65, which connects the south split, heads towards Greenwood, Indiana, and then on down to Louisville, Kentucky. Fountain Square at the turn of the century saw an influx of immigrants from South and Southeast European countries. And at the height of it, there was about 26,000 plus residents. During the 1930s to 1960s, Fountain Square experienced a lot of social upheavals and started the decline of these areas. As well, 70 and 65 were being constructed. They kind of ran right through the edge of Fountain Square, and they eliminated a lot of the multi-level flats, displacing around 17,000 of its residents. And ever since that occurred, it's just been declining and declining. There's been some revivals in the 1980s and the 90s, but it just never took off again until just recently. Today, we're experiencing gentrification in Fountain Square areas. You're seeing a lot more young professionals moving in, more growing families. The median income has increased 40% in the last decade, as well as you're seeing a lot of the property values increasing all through the Fountain Square area. For those looking to invest in properties, the Bates Hendricks Fountain Square area is extremely popular amongst investors. There's a lot of influx of renters that want to live in that community. A lot of shops, a lot of booming economy that's coming to that sector. And it's definitely an area that if you're looking for the next up and coming, that would be the place that I would suggest. Bonus restaurant I would recommend in this area would be just to the north as you cross over 65 and the south split on Virginia. It's called the Fletcher Place. Bluebeard's is a restaurant that is just on the west side of Virginia. It's just a super trendy, nice restaurant, a great place to take a date. They have really nice outdoor seating in the summertime, and menu and the chef-inspired ingredients, definitely something that you'd want to experience. Thanks for joining me today. I hope that helps a little bit explaining some of the attractions to these neighborhoods just outside of downtown. And again, we'll try to touch on a little more of the other historic areas in and near downtown in future videos. Again, my name is John Kim. I'm with Everlane Realty Group, and if you have any questions, need my help in searching for areas, please feel free to reach out, email, text, or leave a description down below. Certainly you can call me at any time, and I hope to see you on the next video. Thank you.